Russia stunned after Obama's private interpreter revealed to be at Donald Trump Jr. meeting. By Sorcha Faal. July 18, 2017. WhatDoesItMean.com. A sensational new MOFA report circulating Kremlin today is expressing stun and shock after the Foreign Intelligence Service confirmed that the Russian language interpreter for former U.S. President Barack Obama and former U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton attended a June 2016 meeting in New York City held between the main parties attending, previously identified as Donald Trump Jr. and Russia attorney Natalia Veselnitskaya, of whom the latter, Veselnitskaya, has been identified by various Russian intelligence sources as an anti-Trump FBI snitch for James Comey, who had a torrid affair with a New York Times reporter seeking to destroy President Donald Trump. According to the report of the now estimated 8 people to have attended this meeting between Trump Jr. and Veselnitskaya in June of 16, was Anatoly Samochornov, who until last week was listed as a project manager for the U.S. State Department's Meridian International Center, and one of whose central duties was acting as an interpreter at high-level UN and private sector meetings for the Secretary of State and other VIPs. Having worked in the U.S. State Department from January 05 to July of 17, Anatoly Samochornov has long been known to the Federal Security Service division that protects President Putin, and whose last contact or interaction with this U.S. government Russian language interpreter was in September of 15, during a meeting held at the United Nations offices in New York City between President Putin and President Obama. Important to note about Samochornov is that aside from his interpretation duties for President Obama and Secretary Clinton, he also, and at least since 2010, worked closely with the FBI's New York City field office, and that was then under the direction of the Obama regime's FBI Director Robert Mueller, but who now is leading an investigation into President Trump's supposed ties with Russia, quote-unquote. With both Natalia Veselnitskaya and Anatoly Samochornov now being associated with the FBI, the Obama regime, and Hillary Clinton's campaign, the only real determination that can logically be made about the June of 16 meeting between them and Donald Trump Jr. was that it was a counterintelligence operation, but whose true purpose and meaning have yet to be fully determined. MOFA analysts in this report do note that SVR intelligence operatives have joined the global manhunt for a former British intelligence officer named Renwick Hadow, who was known to have associated with Anatoly Samochornov, and in New York City, Renwick Hadow, aka Jonathan Black, was one of the main fundraisers in 2009 of the British past private investigation firm Orbis Business Intelligence, founded by former MI6 agent Christopher Steele, and that colluded with a shadowy American political opposition research firm named Fusion GPS to produce what is now known as the Trump dossier, whose entire contents were revealed to have been created solely to smear then presidential candidate Donald Trump. Shortly after assuming the U.S. presidency, President Trump nominated the prominent New York litigator and Wachtell, Lipton, Rosen & Katz, one of the powerful law firms in the U.S., partner for more than 2 decades since 1994, George T. Conway III, the husband of Trump's campaign manager Kellyanne Conway, to head the civil division at the U.S. Department of Justice, which Conway eventually turned down, but not before his making one of his law firm's litigation associates, named Vladislav Weinberg, an assistant U.S. attorney in New York City. Nearly immediately after becoming an assistant U.S. attorney for President Trump, Vladislav Weinberg began documenting the crimes of the former British spy Renwick Hadow that led to Haddow being indicted on multiple U.S. money laundering and fraud charges on 30 June 2017, with no one being able to fully explain how the FBI let Haddow slip from their surveillance to become an international fugitive, and that SVR believes is on the run with Zoe Miller, sometimes Chloe Miller in Bar Works press releases, who appears to be his Eastern European wife, Zoya. Most concerning to the SVR about Renwick Haddow is how this former British spy was able to not only gain entrance to the United States, but was also able to set up multiple false front companies while the Obama-Clinton regime was in power, especially since this international criminal's crimes have long been known and he remains under indictment in Britain. Interesting to note, too, in this report are SVR intelligence experts stating that the British spy Renwick Haddow is more than likely running in fear of his life, but not from President Trump's U.S. Attorney Vladislav Weinberg, who is in charge of this case, but rather from deep state forces loyal to Hillary Clinton, and as evidenced by the suiciding of the top Haitian government official, Klaus Eberwein, this week, just prior to his testifying of the crimes committed by both Hillary Clinton and her husband, former President Bill Clinton. Having come to the United States to testify in a U.S. court against the Clintons, Klaus Eberwein's warning that his life was in danger proved all too true when he was discovered in his Miami, Florida hotel room, dead from a single gunshot to his head, and that the American fake news media has yet to report the facts of to their citizens. And to the exact deep state loyalist President Trump is battling against. None is proving more formidable than Hillary Clinton, and who was scathingly yet accurately portrayed yesterday by the American billionaire philanthropist Gary Heaven, who said for all the world to hear, upon his learning of the assassination of Klaus Eberwein, quote, "Hillary, let me give you a word. First of all, I'm wealthier than you are, and here I am with my money, my hands. I'm flying aircraft into these dangerous situations." The head of the Senate here in Haiti said that of the billions that you collected for these children here, only 2% was used. You are a grand level thief, and the world needs to know about it. Americans need to know about it. If we dare trust you with anything, we're fools, and you know you've proven it over and over again. But Haiti, you can't explain this away. Look around. Do you see any Clinton fund trucks or airplanes? Isn't here, and I'm an eyewitness. You have the audacity to act as if you care about people. I know, you're a psychopath. You probably get a kick out of the fact that you're getting away with this grand theft, and it's because the media, the mainstream media in America, is your lapdog. I don't know whether they're afraid of you or they buy into your nonsense, but I'm not afraid of you. I'm going to challenge you everywhere I can, and I'm asking the hundreds of thousands of people who are watching this to get involved, get the word out, get this viral. Hillary Clinton, with what you've done, selling state secrets, selling uranium to our so-called enemy, picking a fight with Russia, taking us to the verge of World War III, but media doesn't tell us about it. You're the wicked person on this planet, and every time I put food in the mouths of these children, I think of what a creepy witch you are. So, damn you. This is what you should be doing, but you don't even understand. You're a psychopath who gets power off getting away with this, and I understand this. You don't care what I'm saying. The American people who are going to vote, especially the black Americans, these are black people here that I'm taking care of. The black Americans need to know that you use them for their vote, and then you throw them away. You keep them, America, like Detroit, impoverished as you have power and control of black Americans. Shame on you. They're waking up. I'm not a great Trump fan, but he's not bought and paid by the elites, not bought and paid by the shadow government. Hillary, we're on to you, and we have time to wake the American people up and get you out of our lives once and for all. You miserable wretch. And understand that Hillary Clinton has died, so you can replace every instance of Hillary Clinton with deep state.